Zak, congratulations on your half century today. It must have been good to come back after your little accident and score some runs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great being back out there, with an England shirt on, and to score a 50 is always very nice. I'd have certainly liked a few more, and help the team get a bit higher total to give our bowlers a chance. But it was certainly nice to be out there in the middle for a little while.
Do you think that you found it easier than other people because you top scored by quite some considerable distance? Was it hard? Was it difficult to bat out there?
I think it was easy at the bat against the seamers. I managed to get to 30, 40 before the spinners came on. That might have something to do with it. And it's never easy starting against spin over here, especially in these conditions against their bowlers. So it wasn't easy, but that said, we know we've got to be, we should have got a few more runs, and if we'd have got 200, I think a nice competitive score to put us in a good position. But we're a bit short, but a good day tomorrow for us, that right.
Were the conditions different from what you were expecting? Because I suppose with the pink ball test, a day-night test, England obviously went into it thinking that it would help the seam bowlers when actually all but 2 of the wickets today fell to spin.
Yeah, we were preparing the nets, and it was doing quite a lot for the seamers. And a few days out, it looked like there was a lot of grass on the wicket. They obviously shaved that grass off, and quite a bit today. But I think our bowlers could easily take 20 wickets on this wicket on this pitch. The standard they are, and like I say, we didn't really help them with the lack of runs, but we can put that right in the second innings.
Final thought from me, there was obviously, you could see in the field as a sense of frustration at how some of the decisions went, some of the third umpire decisions particularly. Is it difficult to put that sort of thought to the back of your mind? I mean, how much is that frustrating you?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Like I say, we're behind the game. We need those little 50-50s to go our way. And it seemed like none of them went our way today. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. And it certainly went that way today. And, it is frustrating. We desperately want to win. And, it doesn't help. It doesn't help our chances of winning when the 50-50s don't go against us. But it's out of our control, and, just keep trying to do better. And hopefully we play better tomorrow, and, don't even need 50-50s. But make it a bit easier for the umpires and take the wickets without needing 50-50s.
Yeah, hi Zak. Just on those umpiring calls that went against England, the folk stumping and the Ben Stokes catch that wasn't. Joe was complaining about consistency. Can you just explain? Is it about the third umpire looking at more replays?
Yeah, obviously, comes back to the frustrations. In the innings when we batted, Jack Leach had a similar sort of one. We didn't quite carry it. It seemed like they looked at it from 5 or 6 different angles, and then when we were fielding, they looked at it from one angle. But that's probably where the frustrations lie. I can't say whether they were out or not out, but I think the frustrations lie with just not checking more thoroughly.
There seems to be a major problem too with the foothold. Stuart Broad was calling for concrete to go into the mix at one stage to kind of shore them up. What are your thoughts about the footholds and the pitch generally?
Yeah, obviously the footholds were giving way. They'd shade the end of the wickets, and it's just crumbling away when I'm batting, even taking guard. The ground just gives away underneath you, so that's not ideal for the seam bowlers. It seems like they're slipping a bit, and I think the Indian bowlers slipped a bit as well. Sharma came round the wicket at one point because he was slipping. So it's the same for both sides, but it's frustrating.
12 is the lowest England first innings score in India. Is there a way back, with Kohli going just before stumps?
Absolutely, there's a way back, yeah. Nowhere near over. It's a decent day tomorrow. A good ball out for, late 100s, early 200s. And then we get any sort of lead on that wicket, and we've got a chance fourth innings. And, that's the way we're looking at it.
So just pick it up there, Zak, on what Jeremy said. We could hear quite clearly on the stump mic, Joe saying to the umpires, we don't care about what the decision is. We just want consistency. It's unusual for a captain to approach the umpire with that kind of chat, I suppose. I just wonder, what is the communication like in the middle? Do you feel like you're getting enough explanation of how these decisions have been reached?
I can't answer that question, to be honest. I would like to answer that question, but I'll leave that to the captain and the senior players. You know, as a young player, I keep my nose out of those situations, so I couldn't answer that one. But yeah, that's a question for Joe, I think.
Hi, Zach. You mentioned, you know, you guys think there's definitely a way back. I mean, England only a couple of years ago won at Headingley after being bowled out for 67 in their first innings. I guess it looks like you guys are going to need another miracle. Have you got the belief you can do something similar here?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to require a miracle, to be honest. I think the batting last on this pitch is going to be extremely difficult. And, you know, if we bowl well tomorrow and get a nice, you know, even 100 lead, 150 lead, you know, then we've got a great chance of winning this game. So I don't think it's going to need a miracle. Obviously, we're going to need a lot of things to go our way. We're going to have to play extremely well. But we're plenty capable of doing it with the side we've got.
I mean, what was the chat in the dressing room about why it was so difficult out there? It's the 5th Test match in a row against high quality spinners on turning tracks. You've been putting in a lot of hours in the nets and putting in a lot of attention to detail. How can it kind of all go so consistently wrong at the same time, you know, in such a quick space of time?
Yeah, I think the challenge today was the fact that half were going straight on, half were turning, and that was the challenge. You know, in Sri Lanka, it seemed like every ball was turning. And you know, in the first test, it seemed like, you know, that we wouldn't turn as much, and it consistently turned in the second innings, and then the last game it consistently turned. But in this game, it just seemed to skid on with the pink ball, and then the odd one turned. And I think that was the difficult stage. We looked at a lot of the wickets; it was actually from the ball that went straight on that got the wickets. And I think that's what we found a bit more challenging today. Obviously, we didn't play as well as we wanted to, but you know, we've got a great batting line against spin this week, as we've proven over the last you know, four games or so. So you know, nothing to panic about. It's just one of those days that can go quite our way.
What's the method then for that situation when you've got balls that are going straight on and balls that are turning? How do you going to approach things in your second innings? What do you learn from that?
Well, it's up to the individual player. The usual thing that people say is to play for the straight one, and if it turns, let it go past your edge. But you know, talk's cheap. It's easy said than done. So one of those things, you just have to see how you feel when you're out there and see how you want to play. You can be quite proactive, or you settle in and try and, you know, grind it out. But you know, everyone's got their own methods.
So first of all, congratulations on a very good 50. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Throughout the innings, I saw that you played only a couple of reverse sweeps, and in general, the rest of the English batsmen also didn't adopt the sweep shot as much as they'd done in Chennai. So was that something that was pre-planned, or did you look at the wicket and then change your strategy?
No, I think it was because, you know, the ball was skidding on, so, you know, it's quite wary if that one was skidded on. It was, you know, you'd go under the bat, or it'd be quite difficult to sweep. Whereas, you know, if it's consistently turning, I think you can trust the sweep a bit more. So I think it's just the way the pitch played that people, you know, swept a bit less today. But yeah, it might be something that just consistently starts turning that we'll go back to in the second innings.
Congrats on your 50. Just a question on that. It just seemed like you were batting on a different track altogether, even though it was very early on in the innings. But considering the way Anderson got the ball to move a bit, and you know, the only spinner being Leach, do you think the pitch is going to probably stay true to its nature? Do you feel it might get a lot tougher for the Indian team to bat a little bit towards later toward tomorrow?
Yeah, I think the pitch is going to continue to break it up, and I think you know, it's going to be going a bit more up and down for the seamers and spinning a bit more for Leachy. But under lights, it seemed like it skidded a bit. So I think it's still going to skid on a little bit, and then the odd one will start to turn a bit more, perhaps. But it's definitely going to get harder to bat, and that's why I say we're not out of this game. You know, if we bat well third innings and put a bit of pressure on them, you know, we could defend anything on this pitch if it continues to get worse.